Indira Gandhi, the only child of Jawaharlal Nehru, was born into a family deeply intertwined with India's struggle for independence. Growing up in the shadow of her father and Mahatma Gandhi, she witnessed the complexities of Indian politics. Her father's frequent imprisonments exposed her to the sacrifices of public service. This upbringing instilled in her a deep sense of duty and determination. Indira Gandhi's formal entry into politics came in 1955, when she was elected to the Congress Working Committee, the party's highest decision-making body. Initially hesitant to seek elected office, Indira preferred to work behind the scenes, serving as her father's confidant and advisor during his tenure as Prime Minister. However, her growing stature within the party and her deep understanding of the political landscape made her a natural choice for leadership roles. In 1959, she was elected President of the Indian National Congress, a position that provided her with valuable administrative experience and allowed her to connect with party workers across the country. As Congress President, Indira demonstrated her ability to navigate the complexities of party politics and build consensus among diverse factions. Her ability to connect with the masses, particularly women and the underprivileged, earned her immense popularity and solidified her position as a rising star in Indian politics. Indira Gandhi's tenure as Prime Minister, which began in 1966, was marked by significant events and policy decisions that profoundly shaped India's trajectory. One of her most notable achievements was the Green Revolution, transforming India from a food-deficient nation to one that was self-sufficient in grain production. Recognizing the critical importance of agriculture for India's economic development, Indira prioritized investments in agricultural research, irrigation infrastructure, and the distribution of high-yielding variety seeds and fertilizers. This multi-pronged approach led to a dramatic increase in agricultural productivity, particularly in wheat and rice. The Green Revolution not only addressed India's chronic food shortages, but also improved the incomes and livelihoods of millions of farmers. The success of the Green Revolution established Indira Gandhi as a pragmatic leader, willing to take bold decisions to address the needs of her people. The year 1971 witnessed one of the most defining moments in Indira Gandhi's premiership, the Bangladesh Liberation War. The crisis erupted when East Pakistan, geographically separated from West Pakistan, launched a movement for independence following years of political and economic marginalization. The brutal crackdown by the Pakistani army on Bengali civilians led to a massive influx of refugees into India, creating a humanitarian crisis. Indira Gandhi, recognizing the strategic threat posed by a hostile Pakistan, took the decisive step of supporting the Bangladeshi struggle for independence. India's intervention in the war proved decisive, leading to the defeat of Pakistan and the birth of Bangladesh as an independent nation. The 1971 war was a resounding victory for India, cementing its position as a major power in South Asia and showcasing Indira Gandhi's leadership on the global stage. Indira Gandhi's commitment to social justice and economic equality led her to implement a series of socialist-inspired economic policies. One of her most consequential decisions was the nationalization of 14 major private banks in 1969. This bold move aimed at breaking the control of a few wealthy families over the banking sector and directing credit towards priority sectors such as agriculture, small-scale industries, and rural development. The nationalization of banks was a watershed moment in India's economic history, expanding the reach of banking services to previously underserved sections of society. It also gave the government greater control over the allocation of credit, enabling it to direct investments towards national development goals. While the nationalization of banks drew criticism from some quarters, it remains a defining feature of Indira Gandhi's economic legacy, reflecting her commitment to addressing social and economic disparities. Between 1975 and 1977, Indira Gandhi declared a state of emergency in India. The emergency was imposed citing threats to national security and internal stability. It saw the suspension of fundamental rights, press censorship, and imprisonment of political opponents, triggered by economic challenges, social unrest, and a political crisis. The emergency remains divisive, seen by some as necessary and by others as authoritarian. In 1977, after nearly 2 years of emergency rule, Indira Gandhi took the bold step of calling for fresh elections. This decision surprised many, as it was widely believed that she would seek to extend her hold on power. However, confident in the support of the people, Indira Gandhi decided to seek a fresh mandate. The 1977 general elections witnessed a stunning defeat for Indira Gandhi and her Congress party. The people of India, weary of the emergency's excesses and yearning for a return to democracy, voted overwhelmingly in favor of the Janata Party, a coalition of opposition parties united by their opposition to Indira Gandhi's rule. However, Indira Gandhi's political career was far from over. In a remarkable comeback, she returned to power in 1980, winning a landslide victory in the general elections, demonstrating the enduring appeal of her leadership. The early 1980s witnessed the rise of religious tensions and separatist sentiments in the state of Punjab. The Akali Dal, a political party representing Sikh interests, launched a movement demanding greater autonomy for Punjab. The movement, which began peacefully, gradually turned violent with the emergence of extremist groups advocating for an independent Sikh state called Khalistan. The situation in Punjab posed a major challenge to Indira Gandhi's government. She sought to address the grievances of the Sikh community through negotiations, but the talks failed to achieve a breakthrough. The rise of militancy in Punjab, fueled by external forces, further complicated the situation. The Golden Temple in Amritsar, the holiest shrine of Sikhism, became a stronghold for armed militants who used it as a base to launch attacks on security forces and civilians. In June 1984, Indira Gandhi took the fateful decision to order Operation Blue Star, a military operation to flush out armed militants from the Golden Temple complex. The operation, while successful in its objective, resulted in significant damage to the Akal Takht, the highest temporal seat of Sikh authority, and led to heavy casualties on both sides. Operation Blue Star remains one of the most controversial events in Indira Gandhi's premiership. While the government justified the operation as a necessary step to combat terrorism and preserve national unity, it was widely condemned by Sikhs in India and abroad as an assault on their faith and identity. The aftermath of Operation Blue Star witnessed a surge in anger and resentment among sections of the Sikh community. Indira Gandhi's decision to order the operation, while driven by security concerns, had far-reaching consequences, deepening religious divisions and creating a climate of mistrust. On October 31, 1984, just months after Operation Blue Star, Indira Gandhi was assassinated by 2 of her own Sikh bodyguards in the garden of her residence in New Delhi. The assassination sent shockwaves across India and the world, marking a tragic end to the life of one of the most influential leaders of the 20th century. Indira Gandhi's assassination was a direct consequence of the heightened tensions and resentment following Operation Blue Star. Her assassins, driven by a desire for revenge, saw her as responsible for the desecration of their holiest shrine and the killing of innocent Sikhs. The assassination plunged India into a period of unprecedented violence and turmoil. Anti-Sikh riots erupted in several parts of the country, targeting innocent Sikhs and their businesses. The riots, which continued for several days, claimed the lives of thousands of Sikhs and left a deep scar on India's social fabric. Indira Gandhi's legacy remains complex and multifaceted, marked by both significant achievements and deeply controversial decisions. She is remembered as a strong and decisive leader who navigated India through challenging times, leading the country to victory in the 1971 war, ushering in the Green Revolution, and championing the rights of the poor and marginalized. Her commitment to social justice and national security earned her immense popularity among large sections of the Indian population. However, her legacy is also tarnished by the emergency, a dark chapter in Indian democracy, and Operation Blue Star, a decision that had tragic consequences. Despite the controversies, Indira Gandhi's impact on Indian politics and society is undeniable. She left an indelible mark on India's political landscape, shaping the country's foreign policy, strengthening its national security, and expanding the reach of social welfare programs. Her life and legacy continue to be a subject of intense debate and discussion, reflecting the enduring fascination with this enigmatic and consequential leader.